The lead in the House for MAGA. There is no lead in the House for MAGA. They're already on paper down to 219 to 215 to try to pick a Speaker of the House. That 219 includes Kay Granger, Republican, Fort Worth, Texas, 12th District, missing in action for a year and a half, and is allegedly, based on reporting on the ground, in an assisted living facility. So let's just call it 218 to 215. That you got Tom Massey, Republican in Kentucky, who says he's not going to vote for Speaker Johnson. So one more vote and we could have, I don't know, Speaker Hakeem Jeffries. I go over it all with you on Popok Live. Take a listen. Kay Granger. Kay Granger. Sounds like a Red Rover. Sounds like a game when I was a kid. Where is Kay Granger? Where is she? She had an honorable career. She was the first woman ever elected to the House from Texas. Last Congress, 118th Congress, she was the head of the House Appropriations Committee. You know, she's a big deal. But we haven't seen her since July of 2023, apparently. And now there's reporting coming out of the Dallas Express, who's on the ground, who's gone to the assisted living facility and has confirmed that she's been in an assisted living facility and maybe a dementia or memory unit all this time and hasn't been available for votes. And you know who hasn't reported that as they were supposed to the Ethics Committee of the House? Her staff, her chief of staff, her communications director, her policy director, and none of them have responded to inquiries from the media. Where is she? When they tracked down her son, who runs a restaurant in Dallas, he got abusive and said he would beat the crap out of a reporter who asked about his mom. That only gets my antenna up that there's something wrong with Kay Granger. And here's what I'm positing. Did MAGA and Mike Johnson and Donald Trump and the others, were they hiding the fact and not leveling with the American people about the fact that their slimmest of majorities, the slimmest in American history in the House, got a lot slimmer with the loss of Kay Granger? And it would undermine their narrative against Joe Biden because they wanted to constantly attack him as demented Joe Biden, as mentally impaired Joe Biden, as mentally incapacitated Joe Biden, but they couldn't necessarily do that when Kay Granger was in a memory unit in an assisted living facility instead of doing her job for which she was paid by the taxpayers. Is that why, Mike Johnson? You'll have to answer to the Ethics Committee. There should be a full ethics investigation. Even Republicans are calling for it. You know, they went after, Dianne Feinstein, the senator from California, before she died, about her abilities. They go after Joe Biden even to this moment. What about Kay Granger? And so I'm going to continue to keep the pedal to the metal until we find Kay Granger. Now let's talk about margins. When the 119th Congress comes in, it's going to be the slimmest margin in the history, in terms of seats, in the modern history of Congress, held by MAGA, held by Congress. And they're not all MAGA. That's the problem. There's a fair number that aren't MAGA and aren't beholden to Donald Trump. In early 2025, after the administration comes in, they're going to be down to just three. Just three. No, sorry. Let me get the math right. They're currently a 5 seat. They're going to lose 3, and they're going to be down to just 2. And that includes Kay Granger, which means they got a 1 seat majority. 1 seat majority. You know what that means? I'll give you a Popok translate. Welcome, Speaker of the House, Hakeem Jeffries. You thought the 118th Congress was a do-nothing Congress, which they were. You thought they couldn't get anything done. And to answer a question that came out of blue sky, if there's no speaker, you can't conduct any business. So if they don't elect a Mike Johnson on the 1st or 100th ballot, and there's no Speaker of the House, they can't do a darn thing. They can't make any laws. They can't do any business. And it's arguable whether they can certify the election. We might be dropping down in the list of succession as to who'll be president after Joe Biden. So that's why Donald Trump and the others are leaning so hard to get Mike Johnson on the 1st ballot or the 10th ballot or whatever it was for Kevin McCarthy, the 18th ballot or whatever it was. So you have anything major, appropriations, funding, spending, war resolution, anything to help the American people, it's going to be Mike Johnson knocking on Hakeem Jeffries' door and asking for help, just like he did over and over again, because they're going to need 20, 30, 40, 50 Democrats to come across and help, because he's not going to be able to hold a 1 seat majority, especially when Kay Granger isn't anywhere to be found. We'll continue to follow that. But this is an opportunity for the Democrats. That's why I said at the top of this Popok Live, we got our groove back. Welcome back. I needed a new format, not tied to Legal AF. It's just me, unchained, unfiltered. Popok Live, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. on the Midas Touch Network. Come join us there. Find out what 300,000 people already know every week, that Popok Live is a new home for law and politics analysis and commentary like no other. I answer questions. I answer questions. I give answers, and I take no prisoners on Legal AF. I'm sorry, on Popok Live. Got confused where I was. On Popok Live, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Midas Touch Network. And while you're here on Legal AF, there we go, hit the blue subscribe button and help us get to 500,000 before the end of the first quarter of 2025. We're almost there. Thank you, and until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.